Hi, my name is Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. Every single Friday, I give you a macro technical analysis video. I show you the Dow Jones, Bitcoin, gold, silver, Bitcoin dominance, the total market caps of crypto, and more. DXY as well. Come on in. Let's show you what's happening so you can get a bigger picture of the macro vision of the markets and not get caught up in the small time frames. This is so important that you do this every week so you can kind of get a bigger feel, bigger sense of where we're going. Right now, Bitcoin's in a precarious situation. It looks to me like it could be in a bear flag on the bigger time frames that could head lower. That's what a lot of people are assuming, that it's the beginning of a bear market. But there's a few indicators that I think are going to catch a lot of people off guard that I have to bring up. So the first thing I want to talk about is the monthly time frame. It has a higher low compared to this low, even after a massive sell-off. So the bears gave everything they had and they weren't able to break the previous low. It's kind of like when the bulls give everything they have, but they're not able to break a previous high. It's a lower low. They usually slump to the downside. So that's an indication that the bears are lacking some type of momentum here. We're also very oversold in the stochastics RSI. It could get worse, but usually when you're down here, there's a bounce coming, and we're very oversold on the stochastics RSI. And then the RSI swings to the downside. This is called hidden bullish divergence. If you pull a Fibonacci from this bottom area, so I just want to delete that. If you pull a Fibonacci from here all the way up, you're going to see that we bounce off the 886, the 786, and we even approach the 618 golden pocket. This is very bullish to me. This looks very, very like there could be a big reversal. I've played this hundreds of times on the 4-hour, the 8-hour, the daily for multiple assets around the world, and it's happened. So I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it's a pretty big indication that we're going to break these highs before we break these lows. At the same time, whenever I've seen this indicator, it always gets very sketchy. It looks very bearish, and the whole world thinks we're going to dump. But we end up never doing that, which is weird. And that's why it's called hidden. No one sees it. But the true, the real analysts that really follow it every day and use this stuff. So here, too, you can see that we have a beautiful support on the 2-week at 87,000. And even right there, we have resistance that it becomes somewhat support at about 90,000. So 90,000 is strong right now, and there's a chance that we get a bounce from it back to the upside, right? Even the 2-week chart is a little sketchy, though. I go to the weekly. The weekly, to me, isn't a bear flag. Like, that looks like a bear flag to me. Just last week, we had broken out of the bear flag. Looked like we were going to go on a massive V-shaped recovery back to 108,000. Didn't happen. Went sideways. They dipped, but it almost is like they got everyone to short. They got everyone to long, ripped it back in. Got everyone to short, ripped it back up. And now they might be ready for a bigger move. It does look like a bear flag, but I'm weary. And something strange is brewing here. And also, I'll be honest, I've called bottoms many times in my life. This is a bottom to me. We were at 10 and 11. I've never seen Bitcoin not bottom at 10 and 11 on this indicator. We were at 10 and 11. We've come back to 48, back to 22, 21. We're back in 24 again. What I do tell, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but what I believe is these are the best times in history to be buying Bitcoin. You buy as much Bitcoin as you can in these areas, and you go from there. Spot Bitcoin, don't get over leveraged, and you go from there. I got a long trade here for Bitcoin right now. Looks like this is a diamond that's going to reverse back to the upside. But anyway, it's just, I've been giving that on the day-to-day. 5-day chart has been up and down, but it did come off the bottom level. If that closes a tweezer bottom, we have a chance for a bit of a bounce. 3-day candle has to get back above the 200 moving average. If it does, it could be one of the most biggest pumps in the history of Bitcoin. The last time we got above the 3-day 200, we went on a massive run. We got above it, came below it for a second, got back above it, we're gone. And then right there. So after both huge runs, both bull runs started. When you crossed, began a little bit, but they really went on a tear after they crossed that 3-day 200 moving average. We could get that right now. So this could be a temporary bear market. We get above the 3-day and we go on a massive tear. And I don't think anyone's ready for this. And no one's saying this. Everyone thinks, oh, it's all bearish. It's all down. I'm open-minded. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I'm open-minded. Another thing I'm talking about was the fact that this was in a flag. And to me, this was an ascending triangle. This is exactly what happened. They broke it out, dumped it, and now maybe they're going to reverse it back to the upside again. Almost a bit of a double bottom. The one thing you want to look out for is a bearish retest of this trend line. So we'll zoom in there. If price comes up and bearishly retests about like 92.5, that's going to be a right shoulder, and then this could be a shoulder, head, or right shoulder. That's what you really want to pay attention to. That's your caution moment. Other than that, we want to see if we can continue to rip. All right. And then I just wanted to show you how we got here. It's this 4-hour diamond. To me, it does look like a diamond. See? And I'm looking for a diamond comes in the bottom, breaks back out the top. And so I'm looking for this to continue to pump here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get above the 200 and we get back inside the pattern. Once we're back inside this pattern, the fact that this can break out is, again, you negate this, you negate that, and you just trade this ascending triangle right back in motion. Also, with the 4-hour can touch the 21 above the 200, we have ourselves a gain. So I can see how it's a bear flag that could go to 57. I'm not saying I'm not looking at the bearish tones. We could go down. But I see a secret move here on the bullish side that I don't think a lot of people are getting caught off guard about and that they can't pay attention to. So just keep that in your head, and that's Bitcoin for the week. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance and see what's happening to Bitcoin dominance. That's about to start rising too as well. Altcoins look good, but not amazing. I'll tell you that. And if Bitcoin goes on a tear again, because Bitcoin's been so low again, Bitcoin's going to have to come back with Bitcoin dominance before altcoins can win. Understand, Bitcoin has to win the show. If Bitcoin's sketchy, nothing's pumping. You get a few coins here and there, but you're not going to get the runs you're looking for. You need Bitcoin to consolidate, get bullish, and then everything can go our way. Right now, I see a move for Bitcoin because dominance looks like it's about to rip. And if dominance is about to rip, that means Bitcoin's about to rip. And so I like this. Look, there's a giant double bottom on dominance. I'd watch certain altcoins. It says that you're going to make a pump for Bitcoin, and this could be the beginning. We want to look at Tether dominance because if Tether dominance is dumping, that's a good sign too as well. Interesting. Tether dominance is doing just what Bitcoin's doing. It's the exact same. So if Bitcoin eventually dumps out the bear flag, Tether dominance is going to pump. If Bitcoin recaptures the 200 moving average, this is going to lose it. So we're really looking for this to double top here, break down, and continue to dump. The next 5 days are going to be huge because we're going to see whether we break below this 200 moving average on that 4-hour time frame for Tether. But it doesn't look amazing. Let's look at the daily for Tether, and it's overbought. And Bitcoin's, like a little, so this tells me that this could start to collapse a little bit. And it's also kind of, look at this. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Let's start this movement down and then dump down. And this would be very bullish for Bitcoin. This would mean Bitcoin is ripping back to 100,000. It's a good sign. I like what we're seeing here on the dominance. Let's look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency. See what's happening there. The one thing I kept focusing on is that 3-day 200 moving average. If we can stay above it, hang out and move, this could be the greatest. This could be the lowest prices you ever pay for anything. When you're near the 200, it's either the beginning of a bear time or it's the lowest prices ever. It's almost smart to always buy the 200 and be willing to take a hit. And if you did that your whole life, all the time, then anytime it bounced, you'd make boatloads of money. And when you didn't, it would just, you'd lose little bits. So right now, if the 3-day can close a candle, all right, which happens in 1 day and 7 hours, above this 200 moving average, we can get a bit of a higher low tweezer bottom here. I mean, how can you say at the very least, we're not headed back to at least 3.2 trillion or 3.9 trillion dollars, right? And then if that happens, we get to move back all the way back up. The only thing is I see consolidation and then a monster move, and it almost says like we don't get a pump until October of 2026. So we'll come up, we'll stabilize, we'll come back down. There'll be a sell-off because people won't believe in it. Then we'll get tight, and then the real rally takes off October of 2027. So it's like we have some time here. We got about a year, 9 months really till things start to cook, but we got to get this move back to the upside. You look at total 3, it's a little better than total. It's higher above the 3-day 200 moving average, you see? The other one's a little bit below getting back. This one never lost the 3-day. That tells me that the altcoins are healthier than Bitcoin and the bigger coins too, like Ethereum. And so there's still more speculative nature in these altcoins, and people want to buy them at these low levels. This bounces off the channel. We're on our way back up, and then we get tight. Again, same idea. We don't start pumping until October of 2026. So I said 2027. Forgive me. October of 2026 on the last one there. So yeah, October of 2026, we start pumping and we break out, but it's going to take some time. It's looking like we're going to hold this 3-day 200 moving average. It's looking pretty bullish. I'm leaning more and more towards the fact that we have bottomed now as this continues to progress. And the bulls are just running out of steam. The bears are running out of steam. They had so much, they could have done so much more from now, and they haven't done it. So it tells me they're lacking momentum. Let's look at the DXY. We want to see that continue down because it just helps out altcoins and Bitcoin. And I see it dropping. I see this as a shoulder, head, right shoulder. I see it getting tight in a bear flag and continuing lower. The DXY is losing value. You know, it is what it is. Housing markets are up. Housing have gone up recently, actually. You know, because the dollar keeps dropping, it's going to put real estate. Money has to go into stocks and real estate. If you print money to zero and you add 80% of the circulating supply since 2020, 80% of the circulating supply of money since 2020, you're going to create hyperinflation and you're going to make things go up in value over time. That's why stocks are going to continue, you know, and that's why charts will look overexposed compared to a trader from 20 years ago, and he'll think it's time to get out. But he's not. He's in a different environment now. He's in a basically an inflation market printed by fiat currency, and that's just going to continue to. It's going to continue to make things go up in value. That's it. I mean, I've studied this for 10 years, 20 years. It's all happening. Mike Maloney told me this when I was 24. I'm 43 in a couple months, and everything is coming to fruition that I was told and that I studied. So this is not a game. This is really what's happening. It's pretty crazy. Let's take a look at gold. Gold continuing to rip. I gave you the gold trade here on this channel. I told you it was about to explode. I gave you the support and resistance, and I gave you the stop loss and everything. And we had it out here. I see gold continuing. I don't see gold stopping. I see gold headed to 57 an ounce, 5,700 an ounce, and then we go from there. Amazing to see gold ripping. I've talked about this for years. Silver, the same thing. We knew it was being manipulated, but they let it rip. And we knew silver was going to go on a parabolic run here. And so silver doing the same thing. And if you followed me, I was actually looking at this as this flag here, and we got in right there at 88, taking it to 100, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. And I see it going higher. My measured move for silver is like 115, and then it could even hit 125. Let me redo silver real quick, though. Just want to do it nice and neat. Wow, that's crazy to see. And it's getting very extended on the RSI, which is telling us that's probably going to be your high. Like, it's the time to take some profits is probably now. I'm going to start taking some profits on my silver trades. If they keep going, I'll scalp the top. That way I risk less on the last few moves. But man, usually you're going to come back to the 21-day moving average after a rally like that. Maybe you go up a little more, but man, I feel like 75 is calling for silver at one point. But wow, what a monster move for the asset, right? And it just like, we've been waiting for this for years. And, you know, they can't manipulate the price forever. We talked about silver down here at 48. We talked about it right there at 74, 75. That was the initial trade I gave. Then I sold. Then I got in there again, and now I'm back in. This says we're going to 115. At 115, I believe we're going to have a cool-off. You're going to have just way too much bearish divergence on the bigger time frames. But I do see us headed to 115, and then I really think that's a good time to take some profits and just hang out, you know. So that is silver. Okay, let's take a look at the S&P futures. My favorito, and I see the S&P. We gave you the S&P down here. Told you it was going to bounce. It did. I called that on 11/21. Remember when I called the bottom? Go watch that video. Go find it. It's amazing. It'll teach you so much. How the heck did Sam call the bottom? What did he see? What did he know? It'll help you call the bottom for the rest of your life if you watch that. So much information in these videos. The fact that I have 104,000 subs and we're getting 2,000 views a video is insane. These videos should be getting at least 10 to 20,000 views every single time I put them out because they've been spot on. I've called the bottom of the S&P numerous times on this macro analysis. I've called gold, I've called silver, I've called Bitcoin, I've called the S&P, NASDAQ. Like it's been nuts. So this is such good value. But I guess everyone would know how the markets work. So they don't want that, do they? So this gets very tight. I see this going sideways. It might be quicker. We might start to get sideways somewhere around here and start breaking out. And but I see up and down, and then we start to have a massive rally again in like March or April. And that's when they're going to cut the rates. So it makes perfect sense. We're going to go sideways, they're going to cut the rates, and we're going to rip. The charts are coinciding with the goings-ons. Same thing here with the NASDAQ. I told you to be bullish. I told you that's a great entry. Stop loss down here. It never got stopped. I see this continuing to $2,900 an ounce. To 29,029. I see this continuing to 29,000. The NASDAQ continuing to rip. So everyone, that is your macro technical analysis video. All right, that gives you kind of everything you need to know about the macro world around you and what's happening. If you love what you just saw and you can't get enough and you want to keep watching more of me, I live stream every single day. That's right, no days off, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I've gone since February of 2021 without one day off, not one. You can verify this. We're going to get in the Guinness Book of World Records for most stream days consecutive ever in crypto trading. I can't wait to see you there. Go to cryptolifer.com to find out more. or subscribe at CryptoLifer on YouTube. Go to Twitter at CryptoLifer33. Hit the links, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.